Please join me in welcoming on stage Mr. Venkat Lakshminarasimha, Head of Solutions at Dexian India. Today, Venkat will showcase how Dexian India's Agritech portfolio, AgriIQ, farmer-facing mobile apps and our sugar solutions is turning data into decisions and technology into real impact on the ground. From fields that whisper stories and data to dashboards that guide every choice we make, from farmer dreams to policy directions, this is where insight becomes impact. Can we have Mr. Venkat on the podium? Yes, over to you.
Wow, that's a long day. Thank you for staying with us. The good news is that I'm the last presenter of the day. The other good news is that I'm going to keep it short and informative. So that said, I'm very happy to present to you what we have built as products in our division. So let's get started. So very warm good evening to all of you. What I'm here to share with you is our Dexian India's innovative solutions for Agritech and the sugar industry. So the innovative solutions for sugar industry. What sets the Dexian India solutions apart? It's a consultative selling. It's deep understanding of the customer requirements. And allow me to illustrate that for you. This is a typical process in the sugar industry with the various stages called out. Milling, clarification, juice healing, sulfation, etc. While the first step is to understand what it takes to get it from a raw material over to a refined sugar. But then more importantly, to ask questions on what is the problem that the customer has. And this is what is the essence of the consultative selling approach. And when we ask that question, our understanding is that customers are more than happy to share that with us, right? And here are a list of problems that are there, in each of the areas, like in milling, unplanned mill stoppages. When it comes to clarification, overdosing of a flocculant. When it comes to sulfation, excess, SO2 dosing. So think of all of these issues, and the fact is, the plant owners, the plant operators are aware of it. What they're looking for are innovative solutions that will tilt the edge towards making it more productive. That's where technology comes in. That's where we come in at Dexian to come up with solutions. And in this case, it's AI/ML models. And we've heard from the panelists before us, the CIO panel on AI, that it's not always that AI is the answer, but it so happens that in the case of sugar industry and the problems that they were facing, we could run AI models on top of the extensive data that they have to give them inputs and insights on what they should refine in this process of making sugar. And that's what you see here. What you see here is what Dexian has built as numerous AI/ML models that solve the problem every step of the process of refining sugar and making sugar available for consumers, right? So just to give you an example, a predictive roller wear detection helps in unplanned mill stoppages or in the crushing stage. So these are just examples of what we can provide in Agritech to help boost the productivity of any plant, and in this case it's a sugar plant. And so here is a pictorial view of what we have built. What we have built is the Dexian intelligence layer that sits between the production floor and the system that provides the enterprise information to the stakeholders, right? The enterprise systems. So we are adding intelligence at that layer, and based on our experience with one of the sugar companies, we see a 2 to 15% improvement depending on which stage of it, of the process that we are touching and influencing, of process efficiency gains, right? That's significant, 2 to 15%, and almost 8 to 12% reduction in steam consumption, right? Steam and fuel consumption. So not only are we helping them, increase the top line or provide efficiencies in there, but also reducing the cost of input. in these cases. So these are just examples, and it's in a very cost affordable or affordable manner. It just takes an annual cost savings with some additional monthly budget reductions of almost up to 12 to 18 lakhs on a very simple minimal input that they would have for building these AI/ML models. So we are very confident, and the market proves us to be right. We are now taking these solutions and exactly replicating it for other sugar industry companies. What that tells us is the problems are the same, the solutions are similar, the training data may be different, but the AI/ML models speak for themselves in solving the problem. This is what we mean by templatized product development in a consultative selling approach, and we intend to roll this out, and we are actively getting inquiries on how we can take this and apply it for other models as well. And thanks to the great work that the team has done in getting us this far, even now, yesterday I had a few members of my team come back late because they were in a plant understanding the process. So that's about the sugar industry. So let's talk about Agritech, what solutions we built for Agritech. These are not one-time accelerators. We are referring here to templatized products which have value that can be deployed again and again to solve similar problems in other companies. That's what we're talking about. So in the case of AgriIQ, this is our first venture where we have learned from our extensive experience in Bihar, helping them build a decision support system or an intelligence layer on top of the decision support system that helps them make critical policy decisions. This comes as an outcome of that experience, and we have built this product. Let's look at the problem. There's a structural problem in the Indian agriculture. 120 million smallholder farmers. You must have seen this, and if you do a research, you would see that anything less than a hectare is a smallholder farmer, and the majority of the farmers in India are smallholder farmers. The other big problem is there are multiple government systems. Allow me to give you a couple of examples. There is a farmer system called DBT, Direct Benefits Transfer, where the government can transfer money to them, to the farmers in the case of in the form of subsidies or in the form of relief, etc., etc. There is a seed system where the quality of seeds and what is being administered also is there. There is a separate system for agriculture universities. So you have all of these disparate systems, and there's something else for soil conservation. There's something else for organic farming. How do you bring that together to have a 360-degree view of a farmer and to deliver value to that farmer based on that farmer's location, right? That is the challenge. And it's limited real-time intelligence. There's no point in looking at years and years of data from the past when you have a pest outbreak right now. So how do you make it real-time, or at least near real-time? Because the technical view of real-time is less than a second, or maybe less than half a second. We're not talking about that. But because we cannot be that responsive when we're building the systems and at scale. But these are pretty near real-time systems that we can build to help the government take decisions that can influence the policies that are rolled out for the people. So if that's the problems are that the farmers have multiple issues, right? They have scattered advisories. What's the point of having an advisory about what I can sow when you don't know where I live, how much plot of land I have, what's the weather? There's no point in giving you an isolated advisory. That's just one of the examples of the farmer problem. From the field officer standpoint, it's a lot of manual reporting, low connectivity. So how do you get over that? And from a policymaker standpoint, look, whether you have good information or not, you need to take policies that help the people, right? So there is a lot of interest in making sure that the right decisions are taken, except that they need the systems that can do so, that can bring these various systems together and give them a near real-time intelligence. And that's what we are trying to do with AgriIQ. So let's look at what AgriIQ does. It really is an AI advantage that we bring to the table with a lot of predictive analytics. There are two parts to it. There is intelligence at the source, which means we understand what the farmer or the extension worker is faced with, and we give them all the right inputs to collect information. And there is also the command center. that which drives the policymakers to take effective decisions. Both of that together is AgriIQ. It's not just one isolated platform. It's both of these systems put together that solve the farmer problem, the extension worker problem, and the decision makers problem together. So AgriIQ is this. It's an AI chatbot, because what we have realized is that the government directors and principal secretaries do not have an efficient way to ask questions in a natural language. We've solved that. We have LLM integration. We have 48 plus AIML models, depending on the type of problem that you would like to solve, be it about weather, be it about programs that are being run for the farmer, be it about something related to seed or soil conservation. So that's the power of what we have built in AgriIQ, not to mention everything else you're seeing there, which is AI-powered insights. So the system would come and tell you that, look, you have a risk of something happening because you're not paying attention to it. Or you have, you're not looking at the efficiencies that you should be getting at scale, given the interventions that you've made. So there's a lot of that comes together to make AgriIQ a complete solution to address this issue that's in the market intelligence. So let's talk about the operational benefits. What we have done is built a system that will give you a near real-time advisory, and we can roll it out live in 90 days. That's our guarantee to the state government, because we understand direct benefits transfer, we understand seed systems, we understand the agri-university systems, we understand soil conservation. So we have built a product where it is extension ready, integration ready from day one, and it should take us 90 days to make that integration happen. We have evidence-backed decisions that we can take, and you can test those decisions against what's happening in the field. And it removes a lot of manual intervention. That's the whole point of systems like this, along with a high return on investment. So this is what we've built as AgriIQ. And the strategic impact is quite simple. Faster policies that actually mean something to the farmers, crops that are protected, farmers that are empowered, and smarter governance at the end of it all. And that's what we aim to achieve with AgriIQ. And I'm very happy to share that the PSUs, the public sector undertaking units in India, have seen value with these systems, and they've volunteered to share this with the state governments, and they've already done so. And we are hopeful that there will be enough of a connect that we can take this forward. This is an application preview. I'll just let this video run, but you would see that there are 4 critical areas, maybe 5. One is the dashboard. You would see this dashboard being very comprehensive. It's no vendor lock-in. We made it in open source, so there's no recurring fees for the government because it's the people's money, right? It also has alerts that kind of talk about hey, there's something happening in a particular district, etc., right? And there is also AI insights, things that you may not see with the naked eye, but AI can spot it. And there are actionable recommendations that are color-coded with red, yellow, and green type of thing, where you can pick up on activities that are happening in the field and respond to it more efficiently. But of course, we also have the chatbot. You can ask interactive questions, and the system would respond back to you. So these are all the benefits. When you look at it from the top, these are high value add, but it actually comes from years of experience and years of working with the government and understanding the user persona and what they want to deliver. So that's AgriIQ for you. We formally launched it via our social media channels. We have reached out to the PSUs, we have reached out to the state government, and we are extremely confident that will add value to the governments that need this system. The other one that I'm going to talk to you about in Agri is AgriGrade AI. It's the digital autonomy for farmers. Let's talk about the problem. The quality validation gap. The problem is that there is a complete barrier, or the complexity barrier. Here's what happens. The farmers take produce from their farmlands, and they don't know the quality of what they have in their hand, but they are in a real rush to sell. So there's a high chance that they may sell to a middleman who may not give them the value that they deserve for the crop that they've grown. How do we solve that, right? And the access barrier as well, because not all state officials who are extension workers can help these farmers So that's the other thing as well that we need to solve. And if you really want to test the grade, you have to go to an external lab where you may get a very high quality result, but the access to that is very limited. Given all of these considerations that are problems for customers, what we have done is to create a workflow where we initiated, you select the context of what you're wanting to do, which is to take a photo of the produce that you have. And once you have a visual capture, we will analyze it and give a result. Is this government mandated result? Not really, but it gets the farmer to understand that he or she has a high quality crop that they can potentially sell in the market for a higher price, right? It gives them that opportunity to do so. And this comes from Dexian's real world experience interacting with farmers and interacting with mandi operators and trying to understand what really happens after the harvest is over, how quickly the farmers want to sell, and how we can help them truly understand the quality of the produce that they have. So the benefits are intelligent risk management, transparency via explainable AI, because the farmers are not tech savvy. So they need an interface where they can speak to it and get valuable insights. All they can do is take a photograph and then they get insights into what is it that they own and what is the value of that crop. So essentially it builds trust and efficiency into the system at scale. That's the second offering that we have. And the third offering here is beyond crop protection. What we are looking for is a voice-first decision intelligence system. Let's talk about the problem. Here is a challenge, right? There is a knowledge gap. You have an attack of something on your leaves or some pest that's attacking you, etc. You didn't anticipate it when you harvested as a farmer. You didn't prepare for it, but you're faced with it. You're faced with a very difficult choice. How do you handle that? And how do you handle that without causing a deep impact to your bottom line? And that's a real problem for farmers. And you may not have access to the extension workers that, frankly, it's 1:1,000 in some states. One extension worker for 1,000 farmers or something like that. So how do we solve that complex problem? Because not all crops are the same, not all diseases are the same, neither are all the interventions for all of those diseases that are affecting the crop. So what we have is an AI-first ecosystem where we have a vision AI engine where you do take a photograph of it, but it doesn't end there. There are enough such applications in the market. What it does is to go a step further. It gives you an understanding of how much of what you need to apply to remove the disease, right? How much of a pesticide that you need to apply so that you don't over-apply it, which is, again, a big problem in the Indian market. And then the last thing, where do you go buy it? And from whom do you go buy it? These are real problems that farmers have. So if I know the geolocation of the farmer based on where they're using the app, and if I have access to the government database or systems of where the government approved operators have the corresponding pesticide in stock, then I can save, or we can save, valuable time for the farmers, giving them an accurate assessment and pointing them to the right shop. So this is yet another initiative that we have. And we are trying to, and this comes from the fact that we can integrate with state data systems and provide that relevant insight to the farmer. So from symptom, we are taking it into a solution, right? Voice entry, the farmer just speaks to it, AI parses it, understands it, comes back with a prescription because we already know the location, already know the problem, and then we come back and in fact help them through the commerce and discovery of where they can buy this, without having to be robbed of their money. So that brings me to the end of the four different products or solutions that we've built. One for the sugar industry, three for the agri industry, and we have more that we believe that we can build, and it is already in the works based on our close interaction with the customers in a consultative selling approach. So thank you for listening, and I look forward to talking to you later on in the evening. Thanks.
We are Dexian, in the business for good.